Welcome to The Bridge. Today, what I want to focus on is the left side of this dynamic, right? We've talked about the importance of building a bridge between the world as it is and the world as it should be, as it needs to be, as it must be, as we know it to be true. Over here is a world that's filled with PTG and begs the question, what's taking place over here in the world as it is? And I could use a few different quotes to encapsulate how the world is characterized over here. But if I fundamentally thought about it, I would pick the one from James Mattis. And James Mattis said, victimhood in America is exalted today. Victimhood in America is exalted today. And we have a world that is founded in notions of diminishment, diagnosis, disorder, and disconnection. We have a world where so many more people have language for all of the downside, the negatives, the impact in an adverse sense of all of the difficulties we encounter in life, but so little language in this world to describe anything positive that could possibly happen. The recognition of post-traumatic growth in this world is de minimis. We're talking less than 1% of people in the world would have any semblance of anything positive that happens. So what happens in a world where it's so characterized by negativity? Well, it starts to create real challenges. 80% of our thoughts on a daily basis are negative, according to the National Science Foundation. 80%. Our thoughts on a daily basis cycle at a 95% rate, which means we have a lot of negative thoughts that consistently repeat themselves. When you add in difficult life experiences, trauma, adversity, struggle, and stress, it is very easy to see how in a world where all the focus is on the negative, people end up in really, really negative places. And more importantly, where people end up in places that they feel as though they can't get out of. Right? Victimhood is characterized by an external locus of control. We surrender control to the outside world, to the events of our lives, to dictate what is possible for us. The opposite of that is an internal locus of control, is the recognition that we have some measure of agency, some measure of hope in our life, and that we have some form of control, and that what we do will make a difference in the outside world. But that's not the world we live in. The world that we live in is very much characterized by the notion that bad things equal a bad life. And that's what has to change. Because in so many respects, when that's the lens through which we view these challenges as human beings, what will inevitably happen is that as we go the way of life and we encounter difficulty, our life will be diminished as a result. The saying goes that you can't solve a problem that you don't understand. And ultimately, that's what this episode, this edition of The Bridge is all about. It's helping to understand what is the nature of the world that the overwhelming majority of people live in, right? A world that is characterized by my man, Henry David Thoreau, saying that the mass of men live lives of quiet desperation. They honestly think there's no other choice left. That is the nature of this world. We need to build a bridge to the world of post-traumatic growth, which will be the subject of our future episodes. Because that is the world where people can live and navigate in a healthy and constructive ways the ups and downs that life has to offer. That's the world we need to create. But in order to understand where we're trying to go, we have to understand where we are. And that's the reality of the world we live in, filled with diminishment, diagnosis, disorder, and dysfunction. And that's something that each of us has the opportunity through our words and more importantly through our deeds can shift.